Hey, what's up, guys? Friday morning, it's what we're calling Fast Friday, so we're going to be playing only 5+3, casual, no other time controls. Still, my Twitch is not showing the video. I have to play some guy I've never played before on Sunday. I don't know this guy, Daniel Nodge. It's like a 2300 or high 22. It's never easy to beat anybody with black, and I'm just concerned that maybe he's preparing more than I am, but who knows. Actually, he can't really be sure he's playing me, so this is good. I just realized one of our grandmasters on my chess team from Vietnam has gone back to Vietnam, so the other team may not know that, but maybe they know, maybe they don't. But if they don't know, they also don't know if another one of our boards is playing. The guy can't be sure he's playing me, which is good. Unless he has some kind of insider information. You never know if there's a spy on your team or something. Anyway, guys, it's Friday. We're going to be playing 5+3. Let's get up and get started here. I played a warm-up game. I'm going to accept this 5+5. Nabil is also challenged me to Chess 960. Okay, guys, I don't want to play too many Chess 960 games. That's going to be it for today. You know, the guy I played just 5-0 in a random blitz game a minute ago, this is something that a lot of people do that's very bad form. They get a lost position and then they sit out of the game. They just wait until their time runs out. If anyone does that against you, you should report them to the administrators, because now I think that lichess will hand out temporary bans for doing that, or temporary block you from, maybe not ban, but it will block you from being able to play, I believe. So no, I'm just saying, JCS, that, if someone offhand mentioned it to someone else, about our boards who is playing on Sunday, maybe it's somebody's friend or something, they could find out, and then the other team would have this, critical information of who's playing for my team. The other team is, really limited. They have always the same, 12 players, practically, which is pretty unusual. Our team has a lot more players, and it's not always the same players every time, so it's harder to pin us down to who's playing. But them, knowing who's playing from our players would be a huge advantage. So this guy doesn't know for sure who he's playing, actually, so I shouldn't worry about the preparation too much. I mean, him being super prepared, because he really has to be, he has to be prepared to play maybe 3 different players, actually. Okay, trolling a roll here. Not on my team, but if one of my team members says it to their friend, maybe the friend has a better friend on the other team or something. I mean, you have to be really careful about who you talk about it with. I don't think someone on my team would be a spy, but it's a really important match. We're behind the other team, and if we beat them, we probably win the second division. If we lose or we draw, we're done. So it's all or nothing. If my team wins this match, there's a good chance that we go to the first division Hungarian Team Championship next year. I really have to win. I've had too many draws. I have 7 draws and a win for this team this year, which is embarrassing and bad, because a number of those players that I drew with were 2250. Three players were under 2300, which is really, really bad for me. So I'm kind of ashamed of myself. I haven't lived up to expectations. Troll is castling in this chess-like position. Wow. My king is still on d1. I have to keep that in mind here. Troll just ignored my move entirely. Queen takes h7. This isn't very developmental, but it's looking pretty good. I mean, if he plays g6, we're just taking on h8 and then taking on g6. It's not that easy for him to unravel here, and it seems like he just lost the pawn. I don't know, my queen could get trapped in these scenarios very easily. Man, there's that sound again. Now, is it possible that the woodpecker is still there? But what other noise could it be that sounds like that? That's it. The woodpecker would still be there, wouldn't it? It's probably building a nest on the roof of my apartment. So let's see what's up. The stream, we're good to go for the next couple weeks. Then I've got a team tournament. I've got a tournament here in Budapest Spring Festival. If anyone of you guys like lives in Europe, I know like Clash Kid is not far away, and you want to play in an open tournament here in Central Europe, it's a good, pretty good tournament. This Budapest Spring Festival. They actually moved the playing site, and now it's really close to where I live, which is convenient. I can walk to the tournament. E5, sacrificing a second pawn. What the heck is going on here? This kind of changes the calculations. What about this pressure down the E file? I don't really get it. I mean, does he have anything? Not that I can see. Wrong approach. Don't play for a win, play what you like. Well, I try to play, how I always play. Not necessarily only for a win, but for two results, basically. As they say in chess and poker, playing for two possible results. I mean, I can't afford to lose. It's fine and good to tell me, oh, you got to win, man. Some of the people will say that, but you got to not lose, first of all, and then you've got to try to win. Troll in the row is like, do I resign now or wait? Why would you sack two pawns and then ask if you can resign? That seems strange. I like the starting position with the bishops in the corner. So I played a 5-0 game against some guy. Troll just resigned here. I mean, don't you have some sort of compensation along the E file? Not a very fighting attitude here. Look, it's only plus 1.3. Definitely not a resigning position. I mean, did Troll like overlook the first pawn sack? It looks like it's actually completely sound. Look at this. He has full compensation. I didn't look at G5. That's a strong move. You see, I only analyzed G6, and then you're seeing this pawn drop in those variations. But he actually has G5 there, which is better. And black has some comp. Nefedov, change your challenge to 5+3. It's Fast Friday. I'll remember that you're second in the list here. If you can change the challenge, guys. Usually we're doing a mix of time controls. But for Friday, I'm taking all the challengers in order of whenever they challenge me. Uh-oh. Alright, I'm going to cancel this because Tushar said he was going to be back in 20 minutes. Now he's going to be off the list. Anyway, Tushar and Nefedov, when you come back, you guys will get to play. Nefedov is coming back now. I'm getting rematch from Tushar. Is he like here? Did I make a rematch? No. Okay, so he's here. You know one I am who played for a win in a tournament after 4 draws in a row. Yeah. Well, I always play for a win, Nefedov. I mean, it goes without saying, but the problem was that they provoked me into, like, being ashamed of having these draws, calling me the Remy Kirai and all that. Well, you don't want to go on tilt, in other words. That's the important thing. But I'm even more conservative in team games. Troll, what's up today? You seem like you're not really into it or something. Just enjoy the game, right, Nefidov? '97. Kind of a classic piece sacrifice. It's just what we would call a sham sacrifice. In other words, like it's not a real sacrifice. It's just a kind of temporary sacrifice on g5, and you're going to get the piece back, or else checkmate the guy. So this is the sham sacrifice. What's up, world loser? Does anybody know why I get this 2000 network error on Twitch when I try to watch my own stream now? Didn't bother to look it up. I was hoping it would just go away, but now it looks like it's not. At first I thought maybe it's like the video player on my laptop, but it's not. I was like watching videos. It's not Mozilla. I can't figure it out. It won't play the. I can't see my own stream. It just like loads and then doesn't come up. We'll look it up. 2000 network error, whatever that is. Maybe. Could it be? Yeah, I do use Firefox. Why? What's up, Nefidov? But it was working fine with like YouTube videos, so I just assumed it wasn't Firefox. I could use Google Chrome instead. Okay, how are we going to execute this attack here? Maybe Rook H3 is interesting. I mean, King B1 is a normal prophylactic move. It'll work on Internet Explorer and Google Chrome. So you think it's something with the Mozilla Firefox? What I didn't understand is like, why will Mozilla, you know, not play this video now on Twitch? So it's a different player or something? But it will work on YouTube, you know? I assumed it would be like universal. If it had some sort of problem with Mozilla, it would just not work everywhere. Alrighty, now E5, we've got the piece hanging on G5, obviously. If I take on D5, he takes on G5, I take on G5, it's the same sacrifice, it's still working. But I guess we have to think about this a little bit. Well, I guess I just take on E5 and then just keep taking things and then play IQP position. But maybe by opening the position here, he's going to force me not to sacrifice a piece. Now, I don't know about this. Why is he taking on D4? I would prefer for him to just take back on D5 there. I still have the piece sacrifice in all variations, but now my knight goes to a good square. I don't think he should do that, you know. I think he should just take back and maintain the pawn on D5. I saw a really nice Queen's Gambit exchange variation yesterday from the European Championship in Batumi. Wojtaszek has a lot of wins. He has like all decisive games, and I think he won a really beautiful exchange variation yesterday against Turkish GM. Mustafa, what's his name? Anyway, I don't know. One of the top Turkish players in the event. Updates. Okay. Yesterday, Galdaman, Diva Karan, played a move order I didn't really like in the exchange variation of the Queen's Gambit. He should take a look at that. Wojtaszek game, very nice attacking game. So here, well, I guess bishop f4 is really strong. We're just going to maintain the piece then. If we're not going to get a direct sacrifice on h6, we'll just keep it on board. It's a very strong piece here. I mean, it's constantly threatening bishop takes h6. Now it's controlling e5. We've got forks on c7. But he has evaded like getting directly mated or any kind of brutal attack on his king. Now I have g4. g4 looks pretty devastating, actually. There's also knight f5, which doesn't look bad either. Man, I mean, both of these moves look strong. This is the massive advantage to white. Maybe knight f5 was better. Okay, here though, we're threatening to undermine the d5 pawn. That's the real big threat. We play g5, not only displacing his knight on f6, but taking on d5 next, which will fork his queen and bishop on e7. So it's like a plethora of problems. Nefedov, you're probably right with the Google Chrome. I don't know if I have Google Chrome on this machine. Let me see. It should work fine. I believe you. I don't want to bet, because I believe you. Google Chrome, I just hate supporting Google, but I believe that it probably works better. While collecting and harvesting all your information. They've got all that extra money that they've gained from selling all your personal information. They can make their browser better than Mozilla, of course, using your hard-earned private information. Anyway, guys, we're just playing 5+3 challenges here today. Roll with it. Troll on a roll. Do I win a piece here with knight a4? It's always good to be alert. Tactical alertness is a very key skill. It would be easy to make a lazy move like g5. Larry Christensen said that to me. It's a very, very deep idea. If you see a good move, always look for a better one. It's kind of like extremely deep, but it's true. Like, there's some critical mass the position has reached, and if you have a winning position, very oftentimes, you know, you're winning. Good, I saw this in advance. I didn't even look at this. Queen b4. Nice to go to a5. But that was a bad opening. Okay, Nabil, we've got Nefedov. Nefedov, where's your challenge, man? Where is your challenge, Pavel? I dissed your 7 challenge. It's only 5+3 today. Pavel, you better come back now. You have to go to work or something. This is chess 960. I usually play a little bit longer time control. This is Blitz chess 960. This is my last chess 960 for today, guys. I've got to end the stream at like 12 o'clock. We don't have that many games. Oh, game aborted. Okay, that's weird. Well, if Nabil comes back, we'll accept his challenge. Rufus and Doofus is new. Rufus and Doofus is on the leaderboard for bit donations. Okay, Nefedov. Who is that? Oh, that's Rufus and Doofus who we're playing now. Lately I started to get this feeling like I want to start playing e4, e5. Once in a while I get bored with certain things, but I want to start playing more e4, e5. Yesterday, another game I saw, Bishop's opening, Ilya Smirin losing badly against Rachmanov. I thought that was, in the European Championship, lots of really good games. I love that tournament. Now d4 is the Urasov Gambit. Rufus and Doofus, who are you? Who was it recently that made us focus on a game with the Urasov Gambit? Rufus and Doofus, are you new? Are you a new player or are you an old player? Actually, it was wasn't it I'm being stupid. It was Soltigo who was playing the Urasov Gambit, right? Now this transposes to the 4 knights or 2 knights defense. I mean, Standard Oil. I don't know this line very deeply, you know, just watching other people play it basically. You kind of tricked me because I I don't know. Yeah, I guess I would play the two knights if I play. You didn't trick me. I guess I would play this anyway. I don't remember. I used to know the theory a little bit better. Watching Roman firsthand playing these lines with white, he had like zillions of games online like 20 years ago. He used to play this like every single game with white and knew it perfectly. But watching people play with the black pieces against him, I learned a lot. But it's been too long ago, and I never play e4, e5. So I can't remember. It's basically equal, but black has to be a little careful. Yeah, here I think like there's probably more than one move. Maybe bishop c5 is a line. That's probably the main line, huh? I'm not an authority, but this is the main variation, I believe. h6, h4 startled you. Get used to it. Now f4 right away. I guess I have to go back. It's all standard videotape variation. But I'm not one who plays like e4, e5 very often, so if castles, his f5, his e-pawn becomes weak, right? I'm just wondering, do you have time for something like bishop b6 here? I think it's not really usual. This is like the standard book position for this line. You can try to play like f5, but then I guess your center becomes weak. Rufus and Doofus. This is a really new account. I'm not sure I'm supposed to take. There's also bishop b6. Why can't I play f6 here? I guess I need to memorize this more, because I'm not really sure. Feels like taking on d2 helps his development. But I may not be developed enough myself to play f6 properly. f6, knight takes e4, pawn takes e4. Then something like what? Takes? We only live once, let's try it. This is a super well-known line. Not to me, though. He's just instantly making moves. I mean, this guy has only got like 100 games. So I'm assuming it's look at this, instantly threatening c4. I guess I'm just in trouble here. If I take on e5, check, king h8. Take on e5, check, king h8, takes back. Yeah, I'm just in trouble here. It looks like. Maybe I can play like this move. I hope it's not a rated game. Okay, it's a very, very easy line for white to play. I would recommend, if you were black, playing something different to take these people who play this line out of their preparation. Just make them play chess. Because it's just too easy for white to play this type of position. The problem with the line isn't that it's bad for white, it's that there's a lot of force variations that probably like end in a draw. So it has limitations in that it's a draw, probably. And you can't play for a win against a really well played, prepared opponent. But it's fully playable and fine for white. But I think it's very limiting. I knew people who played this for white and that was all they played and they didn't know anything else, you know. This guy's playing perfectly, by the way. All right, we're just stuck in a position that's kind of lifeless. Rook d1. I have a passed pawn too, but structurally, this seems a little awkward for black. White has little risk, yeah. I think it's fine for beginners to play this variation, but at some point you have to branch out and start playing other stuff. If you want to be like, you know, above 2200 or something, you wouldn't be able to just play this, because once people find out that this is all you play, then they learn the line perfectly. You're never going to win again. You know, it's just, you would have a lot of draws, maybe a win occasionally. But I really think that white is playing very, very well here. If f5, maybe h6. I don't know if I like a4 for white. First of all, I'll play this, making sure I don't get back rank mated. There's no like bishop g5s. I was thinking about queen b4. What white really wants to do is trade the dark squared bishops and have like good knight versus bad bishop. h3 is an excellent prophylactic move. So queen b4, take b3, and it looks like that's not so good for me either. Research and development. R&D. And g4 looks a little bit over the top. Kind of risky for white. Wow. Okay. I just blundered a pawn. No, it's not that clear. Knight takes c6. Knight f5, rook takes f5. Knight takes c6, bishop takes c6, bishop takes. That's kind of dangerous for white, actually. Not clear, though. This guy's 1700. Damn. He's 2000 in rapid. Oh. So we really don't know. Why is he so high in rapid? 2000 in rapid, 1700 in other stuff. Let's try for some activity. He's fast too, but he seems far stronger than 1700. Lichess 1700 is like, it's like 1550 FIDE. Normally I should be able to take that kind of player out. Knight takes c6. I just take there, and I get a powerful passed pawn. But I would take a draw here against a strong player. I don't know. It looks like he blundered finally. He has a better position. You know, it's up to him if he wants to make progress there. I would definitely... Normally, if my opponent isn't much lower rated, be happy to take a draw here with black. But he just blundered his f-pawn. I had no breaks, and my pawn structure really hurts. I have no mobility. He has a perfect blockade of e4. This was like a model game for this variation for white. Knight f5. Okay, I looked at this, but I didn't understand what it does. A little confusing. Rook takes f1. Well, I guess at the very least I have queen check and then take on b6. Maybe I missed something better. Maybe this isn't even that good. Maybe the queen check is a bad move, actually. I'm gonna like lose on time in the meantime. We're still slightly better. That's pretty strong for his rating. And fast too. But I normally don't like to play accounts who have so few games. They're usually people like trolling me and stuff. This is not so easy. He seems extremely strong for the rating. But, again, this variation is so easy for white to play, and I never play with black. I must have made a serious mistake. Check and e2. He's got a check. A pretty nasty check, but I've got this. Covering all checks, that's it. Man, I don't like the way this opening went down. Urasov Gambit is another annoying line that he offered me here. I can take on e4. This is absolutely playable. Apparently not so good. Okay, so e takes d4. Queen takes d4. Knight f3. Queen takes d4 is the line. Knight f3, this is like Soltigo. Knight takes e4 is the proper Urasov Gambit. But this is very tedious, and we saw the game of Soltigo played many times the same position against the computer and eventually found a way to beat it. With white, this looks really dangerous, so you know, this is normal, but this line is really irritating. So I was right, bishop c5, knight g5, f4, knight e4, bishop e3, and then I castled. It looks like more people play bishop b6 here. Bishop b6 feels time consuming. Knight d2, f6 now. So apparently my f6 move is unusual, but it's not too bad. The second best move, according to number of games played. But I guess you're supposed to take on d2. It just feels like taking on d2... feels like taking on d2 just enables white's development, you know? He just blasted out all the book moves right up through here. Without knowing the theory, I found the best move for black. Not bad. Well, the best move according to statistics, but it looks like bishop g4 is actually stronger. And here he took on f6, which has never been played before. So white has all sorts of moves here and a concrete advantage, it looks like. So what did I do wrong? I'm supposed to play bishop g4. Didn't know that. Okay, come on, come on. What do we got? World loser. Guys, I'm just taking all the challengers. After knight d2, you play bishop b6. That's apparently the main line. Yeah. After knight d2? Was that what we said? Or no, was it bishop b6 instead of castling? Was the main line. Whichever move that was. Yeah, but I would try to find a way, if I'm seriously preparing my openings for black, I'm going to avoid that line because it's just too It's too drawish, honestly. It's like very, very drawish. If both sides know all the best moves. I wouldn't want to play that for a win. With black ever, and not that much with white either. It's a good sort of line to play if you don't know a lot of theory with white and you're just like new to e4, something like that. I think it's a good introductory. Kind of like playing the London system against, when you're white with d4 or something. But I wouldn't want to play it all my life. I think it would be very limiting to play a variation like that. Roman had it worked out till like 30 moves where he was beating these computers and stuff, but it's kind of a specialty approach. Okay, so a3. This is becoming like some kind of pretty normal line of the Nimzo. I'm taking too much time. Really, I should just play because it's a fast time control for me. Can't avoid it if you play Petrov, I know, and that's how I get into the. Well, I mean, the Petrov books basically recommend that you play except the Urasov Gambit, I've had some hairy blitz games in that. Anyway, I'm massively behind on the clock here. Everybody knows the opening better than me. Come on, this guy. Also a new account. Where do these new accounts keep coming from? Actually, he's the same as the last guy. He's like 100 games total. I mean, it's like he made the account 2 days ago or something. We played already twice, and he only has 100 games. Maybe he doesn't play rated games or something. Wow, 92. That looks like a good move, like probably book. I guess I'm supposed to play like h6 and g5, but it does weaken the king side a lot. Do I really want to do this with his knight on e2? Because if I play like g5, knight e4, then I take on g3, he can even take with a knight. Is that a problem? Well, it's not the only way for me to play. I guess we can play like knight f8, but knight f8, knight g6, but he's playing c5. I'm not sure if this is best, but it's a way to play. It's like a really concrete way to play here. Yeah, it's fine. I think I saw a game like this not that long ago. Queen f6 is interesting. We'll do that. It defends the rook on h8 in these h4 lines. It also patrols this diagonal, enables me to castle queenside, and then I can tuck it back on like g7 if I need to get out of the way of my f-pawn or like put my knight on f6 or something like that. It's more traditional to put the queen on like e7 in this type of variation. Whoa, that is a long... Oh man. Soltico, are you here with me? Don't even start with the trolling. Alright, knight c3. There's the possibility of him going to b5. I have to keep an eye on. That's a bit of a problem. Now I don't know what to do with the king. I can't castle queenside at this juncture. Leaving his bishop on the board. Maybe queen f6 was a bad move. Probably queen f6 was a bad move. So I have to take here and play like a6, which looks really gross. It's not that bad, but it's not that good. That's the problem. See you later, Aunt and Kathy. Very realistic chat. Sorry you spent so much time on that. Sorry you spent so much time typing that in. That's tough as black, the Urasov Gambit. Yeah, man, it's another... Well, look, Soltigo, actually, I don't know, maybe Soltigo... Yeah, you're here. Soltigo, what do you think about the Urasov Gambit? I mean, really, you looked at that quite a bit. I mean, is it, like, objectively, like, equal? Black has compensation, but, I mean, would you recommend people accept the pawn on e4? I'm asking you. I mean, I know I'm like a higher rated player than you, but you personally have played that variation. Now I'm thinking about castling queenside, but maybe I shouldn't rush it here. Really like castling kingside, honestly. But I don't have a whole lot of counterplay. Okay, he is tied down to f2. I don't think I like the fact that I've played a6 that much either. I wonder how strong is this player? It's not clear where my king should go here at all. Castle's queenside. White has some attacking chances. Though objectively, what's he going to do? It's not so easy. I don't know. Okay, he's got to watch these pawns. The b2, the g2, and the f2. But I like white better here. I think white is better. Definitely. Maybe I can play h5, h4. It's a little slow, though. f3. Uh-huh. I don't know what to do. This seems really slow. I've got no counterplay. Actually beat this guy twice. I can't remember the games very well. I think he's putting his pawns on the wrong color with this move. I like his position, but he's starting to put pawns, too many pawns on white squares, it seems like. I liked his position, but I don't like it as much as I used to like it. Similar to the last opponent, except he's he's very similar, except he's playing d4 instead of e4. They're both strong, around 1700 lichess. They seem to know the opening really well. So here, we're lucky that we didn't get in trouble. I mean, he had, you know, that bishop maybe attacking a6. There were much better ways he could have played this. The dark squares started to fall. You know, this is a mistaken idea that he should be putting pawns on white squares. He had pretty much flexibility. I thought he should have played f4 instead of f3, ironically. I lost a rook. No, f4 instead of f3. That was the idea. So you have pawns on controlling the dark squares and the pieces controlling the white squares. Look at this. This is good for white. I don't know what I did wrong again. A bad opening again. Queen f6 maybe. Okay, it looks vastly more popular to play h6 right away. I don't know why. So apparently this is a pretty rare position. Only 10 games at master level reaching this, but he finds knight e2, which is the recommended book move. h6, bishop h4, g5. Wow, only 3 games and nobody known among them. I don't think it's so simple. I don't know. I kind of like white's position. And now we transpose mysteriously back into some games. There's a bunch of real games. La mi. Just la mi. Muradi Abadi, 2015. H5 didn't occur to me over the board. Whoops. So H5 didn't occur to me. It is a natural idea, though, obviously trapping the bishop on G3. Yeah, that's the best move, it looks like. That practically forces him to play F3. And that would have reduced his options and that already starts the problem that occurred in the game, which I think is his pawns getting on white squares. You know, just this construction is probably a good thing for me. And now I can play Queen F6, and this is what Muradi Abadi did. Or maybe, no, the other guys, Stopa and Rosenthalis, also very, very strong players. Everybody played Queen F6. So this was my mistake. I played Queen F6 first. That was inaccurate. But here I thought Knight B5 was a threat. Maybe I can castle queenside immediately. But here I thought you should play F4. It's not like it's that clear what's going on, but I still think I would prefer white. Maybe I'm panicking, but I'm scared that white will have some threats against my king. Okay. But I guess it's not so easy. F5 in what moment? Instead of Queen F6, F5. F5 is more normal in those classical lines, you know, with Knight F3, and F5 is typical with the Knight F3 setups for white. You know, Knight F3, Knight C3, Bishop G5, H6, G5, Bishop H4, all that stuff. Yeah, you normally go like Knight E4 and then stick a pawn on F5 like a Dutch defense. But it's not automatic. This is kind of a weird hybrid variation. It's not really typical. What's up, World Loser? Don't you have to play? It would have considered C5 a long time ago. Yes. Okay, Morales is right too. Like, I could have played a different approach based on C5 in the early opening. If I want to play that way, Morales, maybe we should just omit the whole H6 thing and play C5. Absolutely, it's a viable way for black, I would say. We'll just omit C5 and play, like, omit H6 and play C5. If he takes on C5, it could transpose to even like a main variation. So it's been a while since we played World Loser in the King's Indian. He's playing the 4 pawns attack now. Wow, that's definitely new. I thought we had okay, let's try Knight A6 here. I thought we had like H3 or something like that. H3. I didn't mean here. E5, take, C5. But I have E5 now. Isn't this just good? What am I thinking? Anyway, World Loser just likes to play, you know, pretty much on intuition, which I respect. But he doesn't seem to care too much about, you know, trying to follow some sort of mainline theory. H3 is a very weird move. You can only afford to make so many pawn moves in life. Now I've got Knight C5, but maybe white has some counterplay. Getting my C7 pawn. So we could take time out to play C6, but in that event, I've also got Knight B4 here. I could play C6, and if Bishop E3, then we can play. There's also Rook E8, which is not a bad move. I don't mind taking a little bit of time on one move in a blitz game. Some people don't play by that philosophy, but I do. So C6, Rook E8, or Knight C5, or Knight B4. We've got to consider Knight C5 just going to get the pawn back. Yeah, I mean, this looks pretty active to me. I don't know. Yeah, actually, if he does Knight D5, I just play C6. Okay. Knight B5, Knight D5, whatever. I can just play C6. I don't have to sack the pawn. So this is probably... Yeah, that's the point. This is probably fine for black. I guess I'm taking that. Yesterday, we were looking at a game with Santa Claus where he refused to take a knight on g4. I almost didn't see it here. I was kind of like looking for other things. Okay, this is obviously dangerous for white. Rook e8 looks pretty strong. Whew. Really nice move. Knight c3. Oh man. Some vicious tactics here. Knight g3. Okay, we're just winning the exchange, so I thought he might have some tricky way of not trading. The piece is trying to trap my bishop there. A little bit too fast. World Loser's trying to set the speed record here. Yeah, it's just over. But h3 is kind of a weird move. When you've already made all those pawn moves, it can't be right to play h3 in the opening. But I'm curious about that position. It was a rated game. World Loser challenged me to rated. Oh man, our former moderator. Did you guys realize it was rated and try to warn me? Oh no. Let's try to get an ISP ban on Aunt Kathy. See if we can report that to Twitch. Normally I don't report people to Twitch, but if they're gonna you know, constantly troll me, we'll see if we can get their ISP banned. Their IP. ISP, who cares what it's called? Castles. Knight f3 here, c5 is the main line, but I play knight a6. I love knight a6. I love this variation. h3, wow. So this is the point. There's an actual game that went like this. Yep. So I thought forever here. It was like, what did I do? A minute in this position? So I was seriously thinking about rook e8, c6. If I give him time, though, if I play something like c6, he can play bishop e3 and probably be all right. So it turns out this was essential to play knight c5. And then after knight d5 was a natural try. I found the absolute best line. I'm proud of myself for this. There is this move. That's hyper. Hyper interesting. Knight e8. Wow. Black is better. No, I missed something better here, apparently. Wow. Bishop h4 check. Ouch. That's even better. Alright, let's try to get this person. Alright, back to business, guys. So bishop there is very strong. We're going to take all challenges we can get until 12 o'clock. Another hour, basically. I got to leave a little bit early today. All right, Jacob Surratt, one of our subscribers here in the stream. Normally I take subscribers first, but on Fridays I'm just accepting all challenges, especially unrated ones, World Loser. He wanted to give me some rating points. Usually I lose quite often against World Loser, so it was kind of lucky that he chose today to play badly. Queen's Indian. Jacob, I don't remember. Did you beat me in Hedgehog before? Yeah, you were the guy who played the brilliant Hedgehog against me. Wow. I'm just going to stay in Queen's Indian territory here. This is main line. Maybe a more interesting variation for black is actually knight a6. What strikes me most interesting, though, is that, like, nobody thinks in the opening. Nobody uses any time in the opening in these games. Everyone just insta-blitzes their moves in like 1 second. But I think that's weird, you know? Why is everybody insta-blitzing the moves in the opening? You've got a 3-second increment too. Even in 5-0, I would take my time on my moves. But in 5+3, I think you should really focus more on the moves than trying to play fast. But I think a lot of people don't really, ever play with increments, so then they can't really make an adjustment. If you only play 5+0, you can't really make an adjustment. But this is all standard. I guess rook c1, I've played this line with white too. Yeah, hopefully that will resolve that. d5 this is probably a game I had this game with Grandmaster Silvino Garcia from Cuba years ago. I can't remember how I played this. I must have taken on d2. I also had a game against Varga Peter last year in the Hungarian Team Championship. Similar position. I mean, you can take and just play e5 and play like a Bogo Indian with black. If I were to play knight d7 now, white plays knight d4. There's also pawn takes pawn, knight d4. Bishop takes g2, knight takes e6. That variation is a little worrisome. Jacob must really know his white side of the Queen's Indian. Knight d7, knight d4. Knight d7 takes knight d4. But it's also possible to play d4 right away, so I guess I should just do this. Maybe in this position I can think about alternatives. Looks like perfect play by white. I would play the same way with white. e5 is tempting, but it's not necessarily forced. And we try to develop with something like knight d7. He takes on e6. I could throw in. I have to recapture. Then knight d4. Then I take on g2. He takes on e6. But at the end of the day, he takes on e6. I move my queen. He takes on f8. I take on f1. He takes on d7. But his knight is trapped. Which should be relevant. So in other words, I think I can play this. which is a little bit more flexible than playing e5, which is like something I've probably played before. You're a little bit too late today? No, we're loser. I know you didn't do it on purpose. I'm just happy that I didn't lose. But I was just blissfully unaware it was rated. Alright. Luckily I had a warm-up rated game this morning before the stream started. Welcome everyone. We're playing 5+3 challenges. Yeah, you're going to get to play Ananas. It looks like we've got just enough time to get like at least 4 more games in. That'll definitely get in. Because it's 5+3. Morales should be challenging me to 5+3. Morales, can you change the challenge to 5+3, please? Cliff's Esports Corner. What's up, guys? Thanks for subscribing to the stream here. On Sunday, I'm going to be doing a simul, 6 p.m. CET. Oh no. Oh yes. But it will be different for you guys that are in like Western time zones. Just so you know, Europe is, or most of Europe, I guess, is catching up to the U.S. in terms of the time change, daylight savings time. So it will be an hour difference effectively if you've been watching from like the US or something. It's not going to be different if you're from Europe. It's going to be, you're going to be changing just like me. But now knight c5, don't think so. Now I have to do something. So I guess we're going to have to play e5 at this juncture. But we may have at least driven his knight back to a bad square. I would prefer d2 for the knight rather than e1, which is kind of standard in the King's Indian attack and other openings where you're doing that knight maneuver. Also the King's Indian, right? d7 or e8. d7 or e8 is always the question. Theoretically, white should be a little bit better here. And I think like stuff like f4 might be a plan, but it's not so easy to play this position in practice. What are you going to do? You're going to play knight b4 or something? I'm just thinking, what would Petrosian do with black? We'll try to be as solid as physically possible. This is basically a system that I reserve when I'm black for playing when I like want to make a draw against a really strong opponent or something. I don't play the Queen's Indian that often, but when I do, I generally play it with the intention of drawing or just maintaining an absolutely solid position. So if I'm in the team championship and I play the Queen's Indian, I'm usually content for a draw. This now is approximately equal, but white has to be a little bit careful about the fact this is an extremely strong move. Wow. Careful about the fact that his bishop's on the wrong color. Yep. Maybe c6. Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, then I end up with this backward pawn. That's kind of a pain. What a strong move. Jacob now has 50% against me. Bishop h3, good, insightful positional move. I was just about to play bishop c8 when he circumvented me. Now white is certainly not worse here. Probably slightly better. Maybe not, I don't know. Would have been more combative to try that c6 move. Keep the bishops on the board, maybe. I was concerned about him taking and playing against my d6 pawn, but he also has issues there. You know, my pawns are all in the right color. He has a white squared bishop with white squared pawns. f3 has to be played. I just didn't see a lot of counterplay for black, though, and he could like triple up on my d6 pawn on d6. That's where the d6 pawn resides. Nice timing, though. Ananas, what? Just keep reporting those accounts till they ban their ISP, hopefully. Okay, that can be reported as a threat, actually. I don't know, Jacob has like 50% against me so far. He seems like very, very strong for his rating. Actually, all you guys are strong. Look how well everyone plays. It's amazing. Rook A5. Wow. I'm just slightly worse here with that awesome rook on A5 paralyzing me. It's still probably a draw though. White played like perfectly in this game. 0 cent pawn loss. It's all theory up through here. I was curious about my knight d7 move. If this is better or worse than playing e5 right away. There's like 51 games with e5, but I think the knight d7 might be a tiny bit more accurate for black. Here's a couple Anton Giharo games. Nakamura beat him in this position. Potkin, draw. Almashi versus Petrick, win. Kind of a passive line for black. 91 now. That's the best move according to Stockfish. Jacob Surratt has 00007. I have 00007. Victor Frias, 91 Stockfish #1 move. I would have played knight d2 here. It's the best move according to the engine, so I guess it's not bad. According to my engine anyway. The computer talks about my idea of c6. This is what I didn't like, the idea of him tripling on the d file against this pawn. So basically maybe even f3 isn't so bad, because we can play like trip Lasny here. I guess black can hold the pawn with like rook d8, rook b8, rook b6 or something like that, but still white is better, you know. 7 cent pawn loss for white. For black, 7 cent pawn loss. Wow. Okay, it was a short game, 22 moves with no tactics, but pretty impressive. Now, Jacob, what's your over-the-board rating? Seem very strong. Alright, Nabil, we didn't already play Nabil. Nabil declined our challenge. You thought knight d2 dropped a pawn? Did it? Which pawn? Nabil doesn't seem like he's here again. Oh, you had the first. You had the re-challenge. Anyway, Nabil is not answering. Morales, let's go. No time to waste, guys. I gotta leave at 12 o'clock sharp. You don't have a FIDE rating. Well, what's your USCF rating? Because you seem pretty strong. I mean, I would be surprised if you're under 2,000. Morales playing the Budapest Gambit. I mean, you don't have to tell us if you don't want to, but I'm curious. Very good handling of the white side of that line. I mean, okay, it's not that complicated, but still, a lot of people would do something wrong at some point. Morales, alright. This is standard, right? Bishop e4 check. Knight d2. But once again, when I played the Queen's Indian, I was afraid to play the hedgehog because he crushed me when I played the hedgehog. No, he didn't crush me. It was a good game. I was slightly No, it was actually like equal in the hedgehog game, but then he played really well and beat me. This is a little odd now by Morales. He's playing it kind of like it's a knight f3 variation, but I played bishop f4 first. You know, so I have knight coming to d5 basically. You could play queen d5 here as well, just trying to hang on to the pawn. Yeah, I mean, come to think of it, I mean, queen d5 looks like a good move. f6. What happens if queen d5, f6 takes, knight takes f6? It's like a gambit, probably black's best chance. If queen d5, knight b4, queen d2, that doesn't seem really good for black. Queen d5, f6. There was a game where Ivan Farago once did something like e6 in a similar position. The problem here, though, let's see, there, yeah. Same type of thing. I guess I go home. The e6 is pawn takes e6, queen h5 check, g6, queen takes g4, e5, winning the piece back. Queen g3, pawn takes f4, queen takes f4. What's up with that position? That's not the same though. My position looks a little weird. And his pieces are very active there. What choices do I really have here? Take it and then play like queen d1. Then he plays knight e4. I play knight c3. Knight e4, bishop d3, knight e4, bishop e2. I like taking my time, man. I mean, we've got a 5+3 time control. You know, this moving instantly stuff doesn't seem really necessary here. Queen d5 may have been wrong. What if I play knight c3 and just develop pawn takes bishop g5? Yeah. Knight b4. All right, we'll take up the challenge. We will take up the challenge here. That other line with e6, the Farago, Ivan, I don't think so. There's just no other good place for the queen. We could consider playing queen g5, I guess. It looks very unnatural. He'll have to castle. Then I have time to play knight c3, though. You know, maybe this makes sense. In the event of bishop e4 check, I'm going to have to play knight d2, not knight c3, because if bishop takes c3, b takes c3, queen a3, well, who knows? Even that might not be that clear, but this queen g5 does look artificial. The point is, it's hard to attack it. And h6 gives me the g6 square and a diagonal to return back. And I also have knight d5 type of ideas. So outside the box move with the queen g5 might keep me active here. This was not anticipated in advance, but More like found by desperation. So you're down a pawn, but you have some compensation. If you can't really exploit my queen on g5, then you have a problem. It's obviously not a natural position for that piece. Knight e4, I just trade queens. What can he do? Bishop b4. Threatening. Threatening bishop takes a3 type of stuff. Alright, I'm definitely here for the development. There's no time for any other kind of nonsense in this position, I believe. He's going to damage my pawn structure, and then he does have some compensation. I just can't believe I have time for anything else like rook c1. Maybe. If this was a tournament game, I would definitely sit here and think about it. Preserving my pawn structure. Maybe that move really should have been considered. There are some, possibly some concrete moves though, like bishop takes c3, rook takes c3, h6, and then my queen goes somewhere. I have to be very careful about where, like queen b5. It may not be that simple, because he'll have queen b4 ideas. I think I'm trying to rationalize my decision to play bishop d3. This takes too long. It's better to play 1-0 and not think at all, Mr. Kyle. Just don't even play chess. Why not just play like tic-tac-toe, and then you don't even have to use any time. You can make your moves like instantaneously. I mean, it seems more logical to me. Chess is definitely the wrong sport. Why are you playing chess if you don't like thinking? You know what I mean? Like, it seems strange. I don't know. He has some compensation now, but I'm gonna run out of time soon. Where's my queen gonna end up eventually? Come on, man. What am I doing? Bishop f5? Trading pieces? It doesn't make sense. Queen h4. This move feels wrong, but I wanted to maybe come up with bishop g5 ideas. I don't know. Knight e5, knight takes e5, and then like bishop g5, threatening h7. He has time for queen a3, then we just castle. Yeah, you're in the wrong place. I'm sure you can find someone to watch playing mindlessly, but not here. Oh no, Mr. Bill. But I'm not so sure this is good because of king f7. What? There's nasty threats of like rook h6 and stuff. He just won't die. Constructive moves. Just maximize the mobility of the forces here. Sorry, but I just don't like bullet chess. It's like my favorite thing to hate. Anti-chess, destroying the game. Okay, it's fine for fun, but it's teaching a lot of people really bad habits, and A lot of people are deluded into thinking they're getting better at chess by playing bullet, which is really sort of sad. Queen takes f1 is not on. I think you should learn to play chess well before you learn to play chess fast. That would be my theory anyway. Any sort of tactics here from Morales? I just want to make sure I don't get back rank mated, and then we'll grab this pawn on g7. He's only down a pawn, but he's down a king. He's got no king safety. Man, I was afraid to take because of queen c2. Now I sort of messed up my position. There's a lot of nasty threats. I couldn't find anything there. I should have played queen e5 check. But I still would have had issues with I still would have had issues there. Queen e5 check, queen d5 check. That was winning by force. Damn. Queen e5 check, queen d5 check. Probably there's no response. Now it's nothing special. Now it's complicated again. He's got rook g6. That's not good. Rook g6, rook g4. Rook takes f4, pawn takes f4. I'm up a pawn, but it's not that easy to use it. But I really blew it, missing queen e5 check. What I didn't see was the secondary move. What am I doing now? I just didn't see the queen d5 check on the next move. Whoa. Okay, this is like really complicated. I didn't really want to go here. Oh no, poor Morales got mated. Man, that's terrible. This is what happens. The game just degenerates into absolute silliness when you have no time. Nabil, are you back? Yeah, anyway, I'm curious about the opening. We can take a second to look. Very, very unusual variation. Wow, the majority of people here played a3. Making sense, huh? But I mean, isn't black just getting his pawn back after a3? Knight takes e5. What's the trick? We just give the pawn back, we have a positional advantage of some kind, okay. Nina Chulava. Alright. Dan or George, an old friend of mine. Austrian Championship 1999. So let's see. Queen d5, a f6, e takes f6. You see, guys, what would happen if I tried to play e6 there? He just takes it. And then queen h5 check, g6, queen takes, and then e5. Black is just clearly better. So takes, knight takes. You know, and normally I would play the computer suggestion of queen d1, but suddenly over the board I thought this was really interesting. Okay, he can play knight b4, that's true. And then I have to play knight a3. I didn't think it was that bad. Black is still down a pawn here. The computer favors black. Wow. That was your golden opportunity to play that. Alright. So Nabil missed his challenge. Let's give him a second chance. You bailed on us twice. This is your last chance. But apparently that a3 is very strong. I didn't realize, you know, how strong our position is there. Just not even up a pawn. Okay, guys, half an hour left. I think this game and two more. I don't know if I'm going to get beyond that. I got to leave at 12 o'clock. So we'll be back with the simul We'll be back with the simul on Sunday. Symmetry. I could bring my queen to the center and reset or something. What am I going to do with this bishop, though? I don't like that. Maneuvering on the first rank is a little strange. Yeah, I've got to do the same thing, basically. I'm not sure that we're playing very well here, but the moves are somewhat logical. Castles. I just feel more comfortable with my queen on a normal square. The problem in chess 960 is that a lot of times I start to hallucinate that my pieces are where they normally are in regular chess. Now I have 95. This allows him to trade his bad bishop, though, doesn't it? I mean, effectively, maybe it's not all that great. Though I have to do something. He could let me take on f6 as well. It's not the end of the world, but I mean, what are you going to do? This is an awkward move for black. Get our bad bishop outside the pawn chain. We're just playing fast. I usually like to have a bigger increment in chess 960. Yeah, I just take the challenges in order. That's what I'm doing. Except for Nabil, he was disconnected. So we're actually doing an old challenge now that we had a few minutes ago where he got disconnected. How about rook e1? Rook e1 threatening e4. Is that a strong move? I mean, it feels like a strong move. The knight's covering f4. In the event of g5 or something like that, we're guarded. And I can open it up with e4 here. Okay, now he's stopping me. Casting doubt on this entire plan, actually. Man, that's a problem. Now his knight is going to come in there just like an earthquake. So I feel like this was a fail. I've got very, very little advantage now. But the knight just too powerful coming to e4. King g7 is a good move. Now, in fact, like moving my queen here ends up being a bad move. My queen would have been better on b1, maybe playing like b4, b5. We have a slight structural advantage, but I don't think it's so bad for black. He has the pressure here with like along the half open e file to compensate. It's not a very exciting game. I mean, I like b5, aggressive, grabbing space. Maybe this is even a blunder. He had bishop c4 last move, which seemed really strong. I don't like my position at all here. It's very odd, but it seems quite strong for black. Now I have to play e4 to defend a3. Let his knight into d4. It looks actually catastrophic for me. Almost losing by force. Surprisingly, I've never lost against this account. But I mean, I've been in really dangerous positions so many times already, and I have like 2 draws, but lately he's played better. Okay, this game wasn't good the last game. Before that, he had a really good game. Here's another good game. Positionally, black is playing like God. Okay, I have c3. Hopefully that will save me. Trading queens here. I didn't like the direction this was going. It looked like I'm in big trouble. But this mistake might save me. What's up? He's dropping a piece? I don't understand. He just simply drops a piece? Forgetting that I can take back? It's weird. I mean, he played this game like really well. I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like, what's the trick? That was weird. He had a great position and just blundered and lost. Black was almost winning, I think, strategically, when he played like b5 and prepared b4. When I had to play e4 to play queen d3, I was just getting ready to resign, basically. I don't understand. Okay, we've still got almost an hour. No, half an hour left. Actually, just a couple more games. What do we got here? Acerbate, thanks for the. Wow, what is all that stuff? St. Patrick's. It's San Diego. What's up? I thought it was Acerbate. Acerbate was sending in the Shamrocks before. Maximum material? No. It's just. Okay, he resigned. What happened here? Playing too fast. I don't like the way the opening went. As usual, I'm slightly worse out of chess 960 openings. Here, this isn't so bad for black. Queen e6 is good. Rook e1, I don't know. My only break is like e4. And then king g7, and I don't know. I don't have it. I realize now that I don't have any advantage. So I don't know if I'm panicking here, but I'm taking off his knight. And I thought it was like equal. But now black is suddenly like better after a5. a3 was passive. b5, queen f3, and then rook d1, a4. b4, black's just better. Now I had to play this out of desperation to like defend the a3 pawn. And then here he just has to find a good move. F takes e4 is playable. Knight takes e4. He has queen b6 or something like that. I mean, that looks perfectly reasonable. Threatening nasty discoveries. Black is just better here. So, kind of a tragic mistake. I mean, c5, c3, and I'm just winning. Silly mistake. Black had a great position. Now we lost. Thought we lost somebody. Okay, I guess not. Is it casual? 100 games? No. It's like, where do these people, they all like look the same person. They're all 1700. He's playing another game now against Ermolayev. You're playing like 2 games simultaneously, human man? Everyone is like 1700 with 100 games. You just made one mistake, you know, missing c3. I guess it's reasonable. I mean, it's understandable. It looks like you have a great position. You're almost like strategically winning there. Human man. It's probably the same guy with 3 different accounts. His ratings are exactly like that other one that I played 2 games already with. Human man. It has to be a computer. No, I'm just kidding. But this is a computer variation. Bishop b5 and bishop g5, typically. That's why I mention it. It's a very, very common line for engines to go for this. I guess you could play h6 here, couldn't you? But I don't think it really... Well, it's interesting. You only live once. This is definitely a computer type line for white, though. Pac-Man's pal. Miss Pac-Man. Bishop takes f6. And queen f3 with a double attack. Looks like I'm going to have to take a walk here. $1,600 bullet, 1,700 blitz, 2,000 in rapid. Knight b5 was played. Wait a minute, what's that about? I expected queen b7 check, sending me on a journey. You know, here I have to walk out to f6, which is fun. You know, we could have fun. Knight e4 check, king g6 or something like that. But now he's not threatening anything. Well, I guess he does have queen b7 check yet. Rook c8. Check, queen d7. Complicated game. Not an easy player to anticipate his moves. Now we've got a tactic with rook takes c3. We sack the exchange, but I don't know if I have enough compensation. You know, after take, check, king e2, it does look promising, but his king is on e2, and what can I do? You know, there's nothing really convincing there. Unfortunately, I don't think I can do this. So, it's just not enough. Just have a really strong center. I guess I just play this, and there's no other way to do this, really. We just have the strong center. Our king is going to live here, but it's got a fair amount of pawn cover, and the bishop's on the long diagonal. He's only used 30 seconds for the whole game. But that's what Friday is about. It's about playing random people. Just hopefully it's not the same random people playing me with 3 different accounts. All right. Bishop f6, or yeah, we have to do that, it looks like. Now all the pieces are working. I want to keep my king relatively safe here with his pawn amoeba. But Human Man just fitting the normal vibe here. Everybody plays too fast, I think, for this time control. You have any moment you should take probably a minute to think about your moves. Long thinks of like a minute, I think, are very appropriate at some juncture in this type of time control. Maybe e4 is a bad move. It'd be better just to build up my my position. If I play e4, he might have f3 and then try to open up my king somehow. So it's a little safer not to do that. You do believe Human Man and Rufus Doofus are 2 different people. Cannot speak for the other. That's a theory. I'll trust you. There's like 3 guys. We had almost the same exact rating distribution. I guess that's the average on lichess or something. Alright, he's defending. and headed for e3, which is annoying. So what am I going to do? Rook e4. Very weird move, but probably not that bad. It's centralized. The rook is centralized. 1678, man. You seem fast to be 1678 in bullet. Now bishop after. I need that bishop to protect my king. Really, objectively. I feel like I'm just making random moves here. Human Man is an interesting name. Human Man. There's no d4. It seems like equal to me, which is an impressive game thus far by white. And then maybe I need to move my king. $17.36, 1600 in bullet. I don't know about that, dude. I mean, you've used only like a third the amount of time I have to reach an equal position after 23 moves. Okay, guys, last game coming up after this, hopefully. Not hopefully, I don't want it to be the last game, but it has to. We have to fit in at least one more game. It's not easy to cheat here on lichess. Most people get caught, you know, so probably he's not. But he doesn't have enough games. I mean, this rating seems like, you know, that's why I don't play people at like 100 games. You know, his rating like 2000 rapid, 1700 blitz. We don't really know. I'd like to have a little more to go on. Now, h4 definitely looks like a weird move. Pretty risky. Still no threats immediately. But he's protecting, you know. Protecting that e3 against sacrifices. Doesn't seem to like his a1 rook. The other thing that's been very notable is that he hasn't ever once let me like try to trade queens, which is kind of interesting. He's evading any sort of threats constantly. Any sort of serious threats. He has not made any kind of blunders. It's very noticeable. Now he's on my h5 pawn. Yeah, this is kind of weird. Human Man. Now my rook is almost trapped. Human Man doesn't seem that human. Doesn't make any mistakes. And now b3 trapping my rook. I'm almost lost here. It looks like I have very few moves. Constantly has tactics. Yeah. Human Man doesn't seem human. Too human after all. I'll just resign here. Well, I didn't think I had d4. I assumed this is losing. I had hallucination. I resigned in a winning position. Thought he had knight f5 check or something. It's weird. Too paranoid. I was too paranoid. So d4, he has to play queen d3. But I have to find like an exchange sacrifice here. I mean, yeah, this is kind of weird. A weird game. He doesn't make any sort of blunders. He's 1600 in bullet. plays a computer line with white. I don't know. Never ever makes a serious blunder. Though the computer doesn't like his play, he just sort of stayed in the game all the time while playing very fast. I'm better, but I'm never winning, and I don't have an easy position to play here. H4 seemed like a really good move. Why am I so winning after d4 anyway? I don't get it. I thought we just looked at this. C takes d4, C takes d4, queen d3. And here I have rook takes e3. What? Dude, that's ridiculous. Like, I would never find that. I'm winning here. It's not that easy. For a stockfish, it's maybe easy, but that's impossible. I mean, I never would find that with 23 seconds on the clock. Decide to sack an exchange here with his computer line. I was reticent to play d4. Anyway, I was just losing on time. I don't know. This is a weird game. He's obviously not using computer for all his moves, but something strange about it. All right, Ananas last game. I'm not going to accept any more of these challenges with people who have less than 100, 200 games. d4 weakens my structure, and it opens my king. My king is on e7, so we don't want to make too many pawn moves, you know, with the king just hanging out there on e7. d4 before c3. It's like a CTR problem. I mean, I never would have found sack the exchange there. I mean, against a lower rated player, I'm definitely not in the mood to make exchange sacrifice that are speculative, but I was getting low on time. Just decided to resign. Move on to the next game. Okay, Ananas, we haven't played this line in a while. JCS says a lot of people over 2200 either play really fast or know one opening really well, unless they're titled. Well, I feel like people on lichess just play really fast. Like they've been misled into thinking that chess is about like 1-0, you know. And a lot of people are introduced to this platform, start to think that that's what chess is about, you know. But obviously, there's a lot more to the game than playing like bullet chess. But again, my philosophy is that you should learn to play well, not fast, and then fast can come later. First play as well as you can, you know, and then start playing fast later on. The most typically, like, people just play fast with no thought. Last game, okay. I started to become paranoid, so I resigned. Apparently I have this amazing exchange sacrifice, which I don't think I would have found, you know, in a tournament game, maybe. This line is sort of risky for black. I played this once before against Ananas. But basically, what's bishop d2 about? No threats with that. It's just a kind of routine developing move. Maybe he's concerned about exchange sacrifices on c3 or something. Yeah, the stuff is addictive, and I mean, it's fine if you've already learned the game pretty well, you know, to play 1 minute. You know, there are grandmasters who do it. I think that enables them not to put their ego on the line. Like, I think there are like a lot of players who play 1 minute because they can just blow it off and say, oh, well, it was just a 1 minute game, it doesn't matter, you know. Larry Christensen is kind of like that. They don't want to put their egos on the line. If they play 5-0 or something, it's a more serious game. So the ego has to be put on the line at some point. But he's threatening knight b5 now. So I feel like 1-0 in many cases of stronger players, it's like that. You know, they're just like, I can do this, and then when I lose, I don't have to make excuses because it's not a real game. A built-in excuse to never have to put your ego on the line. Here, but I mean, I don't want to play chess where it's like you're not even thinking. You know, what is that? The point of chess is to think. It's a thinking game. That's the whole point of it. I think that 3-0 is interesting, and maybe even 2-0. But when it gets to the point where it's like 1-0 or 30 seconds, it's ridiculous. Okay, it's not chess anymore. That's just clicking the mouse. You know, it's, for me, that has no point. King H7 from Ananas. I think we had one of these variations once before, but it was a long time ago, a couple months ago. White is better in this line. My plan is to play like bishop h6 and trade off my dark squared bishop for his bishop on d2. The other thing is that I don't really think playing 1-minute chess is going to help your game at all. It might even make you play worse. I mean, you're never going to get a real opening in 1-minute chess. That's another reason why I hate it. You know, you can't even practice any kind of reasonable opening lines. People are just doing ridiculous stuff. So in that respect, it's an absolute waste of time as well. If I play 5-minute or even 3-minute, we can get some really serious discussions that I could use in tournament chess in the opening. But in bullet, forget about it. You know, it's just absolutely comedic and stupid. So there's very little practical use for it. Bishop h6, that's the plan. He just doesn't care. I was a little concerned about bishop g5, like what would happen in the event of bishop g5. Now, the queen normally has got this retreat back to d8. Obviously, I don't have to retreat the queen for any particular reason here. Rook c7 looks normal, but it blocks my queen. You know, that's when we start to have problems. If I play rook c7, try to contest the c file, he's got a3, b4. Maybe starting to cause problems. Another interesting move is rook c4. Is my rook going to get like trapped there though? This is kind of passive. Now he's going to play rook h3. So I regret what I just did. Well, anyways, that puts some pressure on e4. That might tie him down a bit. Give me time to play rook c8 and avoid this bishop h3 stuff on the c8 h3 diagonal. What's happening if we try to take this pawn? Our rook gets into an awkward position and he has a rook coming down on the 7th. So that's a couple of tactical problems. Knight takes e4, bishop takes e4, rook takes e4, rook c7. And then I need to play something like king g7. Then he's just taking on b7, you know. So I'm not so sure about that. Alright, screw it. We'll try to keep it simple and not let him have any counterplay. Oh, why did I anticipate rook takes c2? I'm not really sure. That was what I did expect. Good queen and uh-oh. Queen and knight combination, I was going to say. We have threats against f2. Could play like queen a7 and knight to g4 possibly. Played bishop h3. Wow. But I can just play knight c5 here, can't I? Yeah, but then he has time to defend. Having a conversation with myself. I'm hallucinating. I had knight takes e4. Wow. Good to know. Okay. It's all just a lie. There was no knight takes e4. He wouldn't do that. So a5, we go into a dark square blockade. Anyway, it seems okay now. I'm a little bit lost. Mr. Benjamin is busy playing. What are you talking about, Mr. Benjamin? Joel Benjamin? Please do subscribe to help the channel. What are you talking about, Tushar? Joel? Who's Mr. Benjamin? You playing your mobile and can't move very fast? Okay, queen b4. Azishio. But now we have a good dark square blockade. This is very accelerated dragon-y, like queen b4, rook a6, rook b6, just kind of crawling around on the dark squares and creating problems. His white square bishop is obviously bad. It's a good defender, but I've been in this kind of situation and it's unpleasant for white. Now I actually have knight g4. I could have played that right away, but then again, he can play knight c3. Maybe I'm not threatening anything, so I don't know. Here we are, knight g4. It just feels kind of like a shot in the dark. Queen b4, a3, queen b3, queen d4, getting my queen trapped. Yeah, that's no good. I can play queen b3, I guess. It's not so bad. Don't really want to trade queens, though. I don't really want to trade queens because the queen and the knight make a very good combination. But I've got to be careful. He has tactics. Knight b3, knight a4. Something like that, maybe. If I play a4, I fix my pawns on the wrong color. Oh, your name is Benjamin. Alright. The almost extinct Internet Chess Club yesterday. I was logged on there for some reason and I saw my old friend Joel Benjamin was playing a banter blitz session. That site is really pathetic. I don't think it's changed in like the last 20 years. Okay, what's this about? Queen takes b4, rook b1. Queen c4, bishop f1. Queen d4 allows him to hit me. So I just go home. I think he, you know, he's speculative, made a speculative pawn sack here. But everything's protected. This is how I lost to Nikola Sedlak in December. This kind of configuration where just have a bad bishop on g2. Looks very solid for black, actually. Okay, it's not easy for black to actually win. For sure, there's a lot of work to be done here. But, I mean, basically, it's an uphill struggle for a very long time from now on for white. Okay, guys, I gotta go after this. Don't know how I'm making progress. Not so easy. Maybe it's gonna take a long time. Whoa. He has that. Oh no. Oh no. He saved himself. Now I'm going to have to draw. Alright. It probably is a draw, but not so easy. He's up a pawn here. Maybe it's not such an easy draw now. I was I was a little bit better. Anyway, guys, good games today. Kind of fast. It was getting crazy. Not playing too well in this Zeitnot. So anyway, gotta go. It's a lesson for me. This normally goes till 12:30, but this week, because of the time difference, I have to leave. I will see you guys on Sunday. It's a simul. It will be 6 p.m. on Sunday, CET. Thanks for joining me. Thanks, Soltigo. Thanks, everyone. And I will see you on Sunday with simul games. Bye-bye.